The Sabine Pilots Association invites you to view A Pilot's Perspective. Every day in our lives, the work we do, the pleasures we enjoy, the lives we lead, are affected by a small but important group of maritime leaders, the Sabine Pilots, who guide the vessels of the world into and out of our 3 city ports and numerous industrial terminal facilities in southeast Texas. You are about to spend a few minutes with these pilots as we examine their contributions to our lives. As we go about our shopping or work, we can be aware that ships' pilots are moving vessels. The Sabine Pilots Association was formed over 100 years ago. In fact, it is one of the oldest business organizations still operating under its original name in the Golden Triangle. Waterways served by the Sabine Pilots have changed in many ways. Pilots have changed as well. Originally, pilots' duties were simply to guide, by command, vessels whose masters were unfamiliar with our waterways, so that these ships would arrive and depart safely. This to encourage, for economic reasons, more shipping into our ports.
The ship is 948 feet long and it's 105 feet wide. It's probably one of the fastest ships in the ocean. This vessel could not come up this river without a very exceptionally qualified pilot.
This dedication to safety by the Sabine Pilots has never lessened. But in the 20th century, our pilots have had to add to their code of ethics the protection of environment, local resources, the jobs which go with them, and the well-being of our citizens. While we continue with our day-to-day activities, most of us are unaware of the work of a pilot as he helps shipping transit our area. His skills are honed to safely move vessels of all sizes and dimensions. His profession requires dedication to safety and commitment to excellence. The precise positioning and timing of all vessel maneuvers are under the direction of the ship's pilot. Congested and confined waterways draw their tolls as a pilot's concentration must be kept high for extended periods of time. Waterway congestion has been magnified many times over in recent years. A pilot's duties have not changed, but his responsibilities and workload has increased to accommodate the hazards ever present.
Πω Θεέ μου, αυτά θα είναι τα τρυπάνια που συζητάνε για όλο τον κόσμο. Κοίταξε πόσο κοντά είναι.
Large river tows, you and I might call them barges, large numbers of fishing boats, together with supply boats, service boats, and pleasure craft, add to the hazards to be avoided by our Sabine pilots and the ships in their care. The longest pilot route in Texas is served under the jurisdiction of the Sabine Pilots Association. Over 70 miles of waterways make up this territory, which extends from over 20 miles out in the Gulf of Mexico, passing through Port Arthur, to the inland ports of Beaumont and Orange. Special, by request service, as far out as 20 miles, gives our area a uniqueness as one of only 2 such ports in the nation offering this type of high-quality service, and for 24 hours a day, every day. This service, offered inbound ships in most all weather, even to 12-foot seas during severe storms, adds to the potential hazards to Sabine pilots. These Sabine pilot offices, endorsed by the marine industry and the U.S. Coast Guard, is a control center for a traffic management system. The ship owner is assured that the pilot who boards his vessel will be Coast Guard licensed, commissioned by the state of Texas, and has received the necessary training under the guidance of senior pilots. Vessels and their agents are provided with a wide variety of information and assistance. There is no cost to the public.
The relationship between the pilots and the Coast Guard in any given port is probably the most important measure of success. In this particular port, there are conditions that these men operate under that most, or at least many other areas don't offer. We have miles and miles and miles of very close, congested waterways. So these pilots are operating under duress, if you will, for many, many hours every day. It's a very pleasant and professional relationship enjoyed by the Coast Guard and the Sabine pilots in this entire area.
A ship's agent usually notifies the pilot office of the expected arrival or sailing of a vessel he represents. The pilot boat, one of 3 owned by the Sabine Pilots Association, will meet the inbound vessel, board a pilot, and return to its berth, or safely board or disembark other pilots while en route. The pilot station, where its boats are based, is convenient to the Gulf and arriving and departing vessels. These modern pilot boats are equipped with the most sophisticated electronic gear to allow pilots to be delivered to boarding areas in almost all weather conditions. Pilot boarding areas were established years ago. A ship's agent or owner can be guaranteed his vessel will have a pilot boat on station at Sabine Bar with his personal pilot on board. Owners expect, and they receive, professionals to direct the navigation, the safe navigation of their ships through waterways known for their hazards. The Sabine pilots have a high reputation acknowledged worldwide.
In respect to the Sabine Pilot Organization, I would like to tell you that as a steamship agent, we feel very comfortable with the way these people handle their business in this area. They do a highly professional job of getting ships into port and also getting them out again. As an agent representing a lot of steamship principals around the United States and overseas, we feel very good here about the reputation of the Sabine pilots.
The first recorded pilot activity in this area was in 1849. Men who claimed to know the waters were in fierce competition for shipping work. In 1882, the pilots themselves formed the Sabine Pilots Association. The formation of an association allowed the pilots to consolidate their resources, which later allowed the creation of a professional code of ethics, complete training programs, greatly improved services to ship owners, and raise the level of safety to a point not previously supplied. A prudent ship owner takes every precaution to protect his vessels and their cargo from real hazards over the world. A ship's routine schedule will require many different ports of call, and the realities of trained pilots are obvious. Situations known and overcome for years may not appear as hazards to laymen, but one definition of skill is making the difficult appear easy. Various natural external forces exist in some form along a vessel's route. Some examples include severe cross currents at the mouth of the jetties, bank cushions and suction effects, sail effects, wedge currents, effects of vessel squat, Venturi effect. All these conditions can have adverse effects on the normal handling of a vessel. Pilots are responsible, as all professionals, in maintaining their own levels of skill. Meetings where upcoming problems may be discussed for solutions ahead of time are not uncommon. This vessel and its assisting tugs, under the direction of a Sabine pilot, demonstrates the viability of ports located within the Southeast Texas Golden Triangle. What to others may appear as extraordinary is to the experienced and qualified just another ship movement in a narrow waterway. These qualifications enjoyed by the Sabine pilots allow our ports to be utilized by all vessels from around the world. Military operations such as reforger test the skills of port authorities and workers alike, and ship's pilots are no exception. Ships like this vessel, almost 1,000 feet in length, that's over 3 football fields long, are a part of reforger, where our armed forces must be rapidly supplied by shipping materials to Europe from the port of Beaumont. The Sabine pilots are proud of their efforts in this most important endeavor.
A couple of years ago, the Forger was lost in this area. And I think since the pilots have a can-do attitude, they have an attitude which there's nothing that they cannot accomplish once given a task. I believe that's one of the reasons that we can safely say today that the Forger is back in Beaumont.
The Sabine pilots training program reads like a multi-page code of ethics, and the strict adherence to these points is responsible for the outstanding safety record enjoyed by our pilot group. Here is a condensation of only 4 objectives. That navigation of vessels and vessel safety is of major importance to this area's marine industry, the Golden Triangle community, and the state of Texas at large. That a pilot's ability on board a vessel is dedicated to guarding the safety of the vessel and her cargo, with constant vigilance to duty. To protect the lives of the ship's crew, the Sabine Neches waterway, the community, and its environment, and to ensure the safe handling of all vessels carrying dangerous cargoes through the Sabine Neches waterway. Dedication to task, recognition of responsibility to self, to association, to our state, has made the profession of pilot one in which we all may take pride.